Have you ever wondered why something as healthy as green tea might actually be doing nothing for you? I'm serious. You could be drinking 2, even 3 cups every single day, believing you're cleansing your body, fighting aging, and protecting your heart, while in reality, your body might be letting all those precious antioxidants slip right through your system unused. That's not just disappointing, it's alarming because you've been told for years that green tea is one of the smartest things you can do for your health. I've seen this over and over again in my practice, men over 50 trying to do everything right, cutting sugar, exercising, starting their mornings with a warm cup of green tea. Yet they still struggle with fatigue, stubborn belly fat, cold hands and feet, and that quiet frustration that their energy and drive just aren't what they used to be. They assume it's age, but often it's not. It's chemistry. Here's the hard truth most people never hear from many men: the way green tea is processed inside the body changes after 50. The digestive system becomes less efficient. The gut lining loses some of its ability to absorb key nutrients, and the powerful compound inside green tea, EGCG, the one that's supposed to fight inflammation and boost metabolism, barely makes it into your bloodstream. It's like owning a high-performance engine, but never getting any fuel into it. But here's where things get exciting. I'm not here to tell you to stop drinking green tea. I'm here to show you how to transform it. With just one tiny tweak, something you already have in your kitchen, you can turn that ordinary cup into a metabolic powerhouse that finally works with your body instead of against it. Because your morning ritual shouldn't be wasted potential. It should be your daily ignition switch. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how to flip it. When I first discovered what was really happening inside the body of men over 50 who drink green tea, it stopped me cold. You can brew the finest organic leaves, pour them into the most elegant mug, even whisper a small prayer for good health. But unless one microscopic detail changes, almost all of that effort is wasted. The hero compound of green tea, EGCG, is fragile. Under a microscope, it's like a soap bubble, beautiful, powerful, and one harsh environment away from popping. The acid in your stomach, the heat of the water, the enzymes in your liver, they break that bubble long before the nutrients reach your bloodstream. I remember one of my patients, a 62-year-old retired pilot, telling me, "Doc, I've switched from coffee to green tea for 6 years. Why do I still feel sluggish?" I smiled because I'd heard that question hundreds of times. His body wasn't broken. His absorption was. Here's where science offers a tiny miracle. It's called piperine, the natural alkaloid in black pepper. Decades ago, researchers at the National Center for Biotechnology Information found that piperine can raise nutrient bioavailability by as much as 2,000%. That's not marketing hype. It's a biochemical switch. Piperine temporarily slows the enzymes that normally break down antioxidants and medications in the liver, giving those compounds a free pass straight into your circulation. Imagine it as a delivery truck punching through rush hour traffic with flashing lights on. Suddenly, every sip of green tea can actually arrive where it's meant to go, your cells. What I love about this discovery is how simple it is. You don't need exotic supplements or powders from across the ocean. You need a pepper grinder, a fresh twist, just a small pinch, about 1/16 of a teaspoon, while your tea is still warm. That heat helps release the piperine instantly. Don't use the pre-ground pepper sitting in your pantry for years. That's like sprinkling dust. Fresh cracked peppercorns hold their essential oils, and those oils carry the active compound that does the work. At first, you might think pepper and tea. I know it sounds strange, but the flavor is surprisingly subtle, a gentle warmth that blends with the earthiness of green tea, creating something almost comforting, like the kick of gingerbread on a cold morning. Within a week, many of my patients notice the difference. Their energy lasts longer, their hands and feet feel warmer, even their focus improves. That's not imagination. It's the antioxidant surge finally reaching the bloodstream, reducing systemic inflammation, the silent saboteur behind stiffness, high blood pressure, and low circulation. Here's what the research shows. Men who maintain higher antioxidant levels experience a 33% lower risk of vascular decline and significantly better nitric oxide function, the very mechanism responsible for blood flow and male performance. When those microscopic vessels open freely, everything from your brain to your muscles to your most private confidence works better. This is why I often call black pepper the key to unlocking green tea's locked vault. If you start tomorrow, you won't see fireworks overnight, but you will feel a shift. Think of it as upgrading your body's software, same hardware, new efficiency. Every antioxidant that once slipped past your system now has permission to stay, protect, and repair. That's a quiet revolution happening at a cellular level. So the next time you twist that grinder over your cup, remember you're not just seasoning your tea, you're rewriting its chemistry. And once you taste that subtle heat, you'll realize it's more than flavor, it's function, but absorption isn't the whole story. Even if your body finally gets those antioxidants, how do you keep them alive long enough to do their job? That's where the next ingredient comes in, and it's something bright, simple, and sitting right beside your cutting board. After showing patients how a simple pinch of pepper could turn their tea into a real supplement, I usually see the same spark in their eyes, that mix of surprise and curiosity. But then comes the next question. If I'm finally absorbing the antioxidants, how do I stop them from breaking down once they're inside me? That's a smart question because antioxidants are fragile little warriors. They fight oxidation, but they're also highly vulnerable to it. And one of the best protectors in nature isn't hidden in a pill or a lab. It's something bright, fresh, and probably sitting on your kitchen counter right now, a lemon. Most people think of lemon as just a flavor enhancer. But in medical chemistry, it's far more than that. The humble citrus fruit is packed with vitamin C or ascorbic acid, and this nutrient has a fascinating role. It acts as a molecular bodyguard. When you add fresh lemon or lime juice to your green tea, the vitamin C binds to EGCG, forming a protective shield that keeps it from degrading in your stomach's acid. That means more of the good stuff survives the journey through digestion and reaches your bloodstream intact. Researchers at Purdue University discovered that adding citrus to green tea increased the stability of its catechins by up to 80%, a massive improvement for such a simple tweak. Imagine your tea's antioxidants as soldiers on a battlefield. Vitamin C wraps them in armor, giving them a fighting chance to survive long enough to win the war against inflammation. Beyond chemistry, vitamin C does something even more personal for men as they age. It strengthens the collagen in your blood vessel walls, the same structural protein that keeps your arteries flexible and resilient. When collagen breaks down, vessels stiffen, blood pressure creeps upward, and circulation slows. A single squeeze of lemon adds the exact nutrient your arteries crave to stay elastic. It's one of those tiny habits that over time can make the difference between feeling sluggish and feeling alive. Here's how I suggest you do it. Brew your tea as usual, about 8 ounces of hot water at 175 degrees if not boiling, and let it steep for 3 minutes. Once it cools slightly, squeeze in about half a tablespoon of fresh lemon or lime juice. Avoid bottled juice. Most lose their vitamin C within days of opening. Fresh juice keeps its potency. Stir, gently breathe in that aroma and take a sip. You'll notice a brightness, a clean spark that feels like energy itself. That's not just flavor, that's biochemistry doing its job. Some of my older patients tell me they start to crave that freshness every morning. One of them, a retired firefighter named Harold, told me he hadn't realized how dull his mornings felt until he tried it. It's like my tea woke up, he said. Within a few weeks, his blood pressure numbers started trending lower, and his skin tone, which had been pale and tired, began to look healthier. He didn't change anything else. That's the power of proper nutrient delivery. Science supports what Harold experienced. Studies from the Journal of Nutrition and Aging show that consistent vitamin C intake can improve vascular flexibility by as much as 25% and lower oxidative stress markers in just a few weeks. The combination of EGCG and vitamin C is a 1-2 punch. EGCG reduces inflammation, and vitamin C keeps it from being destroyed before it can help. When I explain this to my patients, I tell them, you don't have to drink more tea. You just have to make it smarter. One squeeze, one extra layer of protection, and suddenly that daily habit turns from routine into renewal. And here's a little bonus. Most people don't know the scent of citrus itself has measurable effects on mood and alertness. Japanese studies have shown that lemon aroma can lower stress hormones and boost dopamine production. So even the smell of that lemon in your cup contributes to calm focus, a perfect way to start the day. Still, even when your antioxidants are protected and absorbed, there's another silent enemy: sluggish circulation. Because without strong blood flow, none of those nutrients can reach the tissues that need them most. That's why the next ingredient I share with my patients is all about waking up your blood from the inside out. Every time I talk about ginger, I see men smile. It's familiar, it's comforting, it reminds them of home cooking or a winter remedy their mother once made. But very few realize that this humble root is one of nature's most powerful circulatory activators. If pepper unlocks absorption and citrus protects antioxidants, ginger is the spark plug that gets your entire system moving again. As a urologist, I pay close attention to blood flow because circulation is the quiet current behind nearly every aspect of male vitality, energy, focus, endurance, even confidence. When blood flow slows, life itself seems to dim. After 50, your arteries lose elasticity, your capillaries narrow, and that means less oxygen reaches your muscles, joints, and brain. The result: cold hands and feet, morning stiffness, and that drained feeling that coffee can't quite fix. Now here's where ginger steps in like a hero in plain clothes. Inside this gnarled root are compounds called gingerols and shogaols. Natural anti-inflammatories that work on the same biochemical pathways targeted by many prescription drugs, but without the side effects. Multiple studies from the University of Maryland Medical Center and the Journal of Hypertension Research have shown that daily ginger consumption can improve peripheral circulation by up to 35% and reduce markers of inflammation within 2 weeks. Think of your bloodstream as a network of roads. With age, debris, cholesterol, oxidative particles, excess glucose begins to clutter those roads. Ginger acts like a gentle street sweeper, clearing the lanes and keeping traffic flowing freely. I often tell my patients to start small. Slice a coin-sized piece of fresh ginger about 1/4 inch thick and steep it directly in your green tea as it brews. If you prefer convenience, half a teaspoon of ginger powder works too. You'll notice the aroma first: sharp, clean, slightly sweet, the scent that feels alive. When you take that first sip, the warmth moves down your throat and spreads through your chest. That's not just sensory, it's physiological. Ginger mildly dilates your blood vessels, encouraging blood to reach the farthest ends of your body, from your fingertips to your toes. One of my favorite patient stories comes from a 68-year-old woodworker named Daniel. Years of standing on cold concrete floors had left his legs swollen by afternoon. He tried compression socks elevation, even herbal pills that promised miracles. Nothing lasted. When he added ginger to his morning tea within 3 weeks, he reported, "My feet feel warm again and my ankles aren't puffing up." His ultrasound later showed improved venous return. Simple, safe, effective. But ginger's reach goes deeper than circulation. Those same compounds also influence nitric oxide production, the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessel walls. Higher nitric oxide levels mean lower blood pressure and better oxygen delivery. In one 2019 Harvard Health study, participants who consumed 1 gram of ginger daily saw significant improvement in vascular responsiveness after just 28 days. That's a month of tea time therapy doing the kind of work most people expect from medication. There's another benefit men rarely associate with ginger hormone balance. Chronic inflammation suppresses the body's natural testosterone production. By calming inflammation, ginger indirectly helps restore that rhythm. It's subtle, but consistent. I've had patients describe clearer thinking, steadier mood, and a return of quiet confidence, the kind that comes from feeling strong again, not from chasing quick fixes. Preparing ginger tea is as straightforward as it is ancient. 8 ounces of water around 175 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 serving of green tea, a slice of ginger. Steep 3 to 4 minutes, strain, and sip slowly. The warmth is therapeutic. It signals the parasympathetic nervous system to relax, lowering stress hormones like cortisol. That's why so many cultures have used ginger for evening calm as well as morning energy. It gives your blood momentum without giving your mind anxiety. I sometimes call this combination fire in the cup. Not the reckless blaze of caffeine, but a controlled burn, the kind that keeps your internal engine humming even hours later. You may notice that your afternoon energy doesn't crash as hard, or that you recover faster after a walk or light workout. That's circulation at work, quietly rejuvenating every tissue that depends on oxygen and nutrient delivery. So, when you drop that slice of ginger into your tea tomorrow morning, think of it as more than flavor. It's warmth, movement, life. It's you telling your body, wake up again. But circulation and warmth are only part of the story. Energy also depends on how your body manages fuel, sugar, insulin, metabolism. And that's where the next ingredient takes center stage, a spice so familiar. It's probably already sitting next to your sugar jar, waiting to rewrite how your body handles energy. Every man I meet eventually asks the same quiet question: why do I feel full of fuel, yet still run out of energy? It's a fair question because most of us aren't short on food, we're short on metabolic efficiency. The body's ability to turn that food into steady power. After 50, insulin sensitivity drops. Blood sugar spikes faster, and the extra glucose doesn't get burned, it gets stored. You know, where the soft ring around the waist, the afternoon fog, the slow recovery after dinner? That's not laziness, it's chemistry again. This is where cinnamon becomes your unexpected ally. Not the sticky bun kind, drowning in sugar, but pure, fragrant Ceylon cinnamon, often labeled true cinnamon. For decades, nutrition scientists have studied its active compound cinnamaldehyde, which interacts with insulin receptors on your cells, improving the way your body moves glucose out of the bloodstream and into muscle tissue. Think of it as upgrading old wiring in a house, the same electricity, but the lights suddenly run brighter. A 2003 USDA study showed that just half a teaspoon of cinnamon daily can lower fasting blood sugar by up to 24% and improve cholesterol ratios within 6 weeks. That's huge for something sitting quietly in every kitchen cabinet. Later research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed these findings. Cinnamon increases glucose uptake and reduces insulin resistance, especially in adults over 50. It's as if this spice knows exactly what midlife metabolism needs to stay balanced. When I share this with patients, their first reaction is usually surprise, followed by delight. You mean I can use spice as medicine? Absolutely. Because the line between food and therapy is thinner than we think. I recommend starting with about 1/2 teaspoon per day, stirred into your green tea right after steeping. The warmth of the tea helps dissolve the oils that carry cinnamaldehyde, releasing its sweet, woody aroma. That scent alone signals your brain that nourishment is coming, gently stimulating digestion before the first sip even reaches your stomach. You'll taste it immediately, comforting, slightly sweet, a familiar reminder of holiday kitchens, but inside your body, an entirely different scene unfolds. Cinnamon slows the rate at which your stomach empties food into the small intestine, preventing the sharp sugar spikes that make you tired later. It also activates thermogenesis, your body's internal heat production, which means you burn a little more energy even while resting. Nothing extreme, just a steady, quiet burn that keeps metabolism awake long after breakfast. One of my patients, Robert, a 70-year-old former long-distance driver, used to complain that he'd crash like a stalled truck around 2 p.m. When he added cinnamon to his morning tea, that crash simply stopped. He said, "It's like someone turned the lights back on." His fasting glucose dropped from 118 to 96 mg/dL in 2 months, and he lost nearly 8 pounds without changing anything else. Small habit, big return. Beyond metabolism, cinnamon's antioxidants also calm the same low-grade inflammation that damages nerves and blood vessels. Remember how ginger helps circulation? Cinnamon builds on that by keeping those newly flexible vessels clean and responsive. In combination, the two spices form what I like to call a metabolic duet. One opens the pathways, the other keeps traffic smooth. For safety, always choose Ceylon over Cassia cinnamon. Cassia is the darker, cheaper version that can contain higher coumarin levels, a natural compound that in large amounts can stress the liver. Ceylon has a lighter color, a softer aroma, and a safer profile for daily use. You'll find it in most American grocery stores, labeled Ceylon or Sri Lankan. Here's a small ritual I suggest. Each morning as you stir that 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon into your tea, think of it as resetting your day's energy curve. You're telling your body, steady fuel, no crash, no spike. Over time, this stability affects more than blood sugar. It lifts mood, sharpens focus, and restores the quiet confidence that comes from feeling in control of your energy again. And remember, flavor matters too. When healthy habits taste good, they last. That subtle sweetness tells your brain you're rewarding yourself, not depriving it, and that psychologically is the difference between a short-term fix and a lifelong upgrade. By now, you've seen how one simple cup can transform absorbing, better, protecting, longer circulating, stronger, and burning cleaner. But all this science means little without consistency. The final step is where knowledge turns into lasting vitality, and that's exactly where we're headed next. So now you know the secret I wish every man over 50 understood. One simple morning ritual. A cup of green tea upgraded with nature's most powerful allies can shift the way your entire body works. Black pepper helps you absorb the goodness. Citrus protects it so it survives the journey. Ginger sends that energy through every vessel. And cinnamon teaches your metabolism to burn steady and clean. 4 humble ingredients. 1 extraordinary transformation. But what matters most isn't the ingredients, it's the consistency. Health doesn't respond to grand gestures once in a while. It responds to small, intelligent choices repeated every single day. That's how your cells learn your circulation adapts and your hormones recover their rhythm. I see it in my patients all the time. Men who thought their best years were behind them suddenly waking up with clearer minds, steadier energy, and quiet confidence again. If you start tomorrow, don't chase perfection. Just choose one ingredient that feels right for you and commit to it for 3 weeks. Maybe it's black pepper if you want sharper focus, or citrus for protection, or ginger if you're tired of feeling cold, or cinnamon if you're done with sugar crashes. 3 weeks, one simple tweak, and I promise you'll feel something shift. I always remind my viewers, aging is not the enemy. Neglect is. Your body isn't asking for miracles. It's asking for attention, for consistency, for kindness. When you treat your morning ritual as medicine, not a routine, you begin teaching your body to trust you again. And that's when healing starts. You have everything you need right in your kitchen. No pills, no gimmicks, no waiting for the perfect moment. Just water, warmth, and intention. Think about it. A beverage you already enjoy can become the fuel for better circulation, stronger metabolism, calmer nerves, and a more vibrant you. It's never too late to feel strong again. Before you go, do something small that keeps this information alive. Tap the like button if this video helped you see your morning cup in a new way. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next science-based health tip designed especially for men in this stage of life. I post regularly with the newest research and simple habits that actually work. No hype, just results. And tell me in the comments, which ingredient will you start with tomorrow morning? I love reading your stories, and your answers might inspire another man to start his journey too. Thank you for watching, for caring about your health, and for proving that vitality doesn't retire. It just waits for you to claim it again. So go ahead, save this video, share it with someone who needs that spark, and remember, every strong day begins with one smart sip.